Ew. And we're back, finally. Welcome back to the ELF live show. I am your host, Silas Nacita, with my co-host, Nick Alfieri. I didn't know those lower thirds. Let's bring those lower thirds back up. We didn't know what those were going to be before the show started.
I did not. This is the doing of our producer, Maxie. Has nothing to do with me. But speaking of which, I mean, let's look at that. You see that? Look at that right there. You see that guy in the green, number 36? He's breaking down kind of perfect triple threat position right there. Looks like I'm going to make the tackle on you, Silas.
I want you guys to just take a look at that right below Nick's right knee, that knee brace right there. And that's a good indication of what happened after that play. It is true. I am 0-6 against Nick in my career. That is true. But the highlights.
Don't play the video.
There's Nick right there. Balls.
You don't play the video. That is it.
Let's bring that. Oh, here's another clip. Here we go. Here's Nick again with me. And there's the knee brace attack again. There's
it's pretty incriminating evidence. Hey, Maxie, Maxie? This is cut it. We had a lot. Look, okay, there's one for me. There's a W. I'm tackling you. Look at that. That's nice. Guys, these are from back in the day when Silas and I were ball players. We played against each other for many years. Look at that sportsmanship, friendship right there.
Right there.
The logo of the ELF Live.
Before football in Europe was all fancy and we had all this media attention, the European League of Football didn't exist yet. There were a bunch of OGers out there who were just holding it down for football in Europe.
Just grinding away, man. Grinding away. We got some people in the chat here. Mao Chow back again. Silas was a beast for Marburg. Yes, he was. He was.
But here's the thing.
Here's
the thing. Let me say something, Nick.
Sure thing.
We can't ever forget our roots as Europe grows in football. As we're about to talk about some big things today, big news that's happening in the European League of Football. We can't forget our roots and know where we came from. Shout out to all the people in the chat and all the players around Europe who've been playing and grinding with no attention.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I think that we always got to remember that, kind of remember the purity of the sport here in Europe. And those are great reminders right there. Some of those reminders, a little bit painful for me, for a lot of shame as I kind of over pursued you on the outside there. And I won't get too much into it. I mean, we don't have to talk about it, but you're right. And just something always to keep in mind, especially as things are getting so exciting now with football in Europe and especially the European League of Football, which we will be talking about with you guys today. And I think this is a good time to kind of jump on into everything. Silas, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of, all right, remembering our roots, we just had a press conference with Schalke. This is a huge deal. So Schalke, for those who don't know, I don't have to explain this to German people, but Schalke is one of the biggest, most common or famous soccer football clubs in all of Germany. This is a huge step to have the championship game in 2024 at the Schalke Arena.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's really cool because last year the championship game was at a big arena, which held about 30,000 people. But this is a whole next step up. It's actually considered, like, I didn't know they did this, dude. It's a 5-star arena. It's like how they rate restaurants or Uber drivers. It's a 5-star stadium, one of the best and biggest in Europe, which is just really nice that the championship game will be there. Over 20,000 tickets already sold. I mean, the game is like 8 months. I don't know how many months away. Already have over 40% of the tickets sold. So that thing's probably going to be sold out, man.
I've actually been to the Schalke Arena. I went to Schalke with ProSieben Taft back in the day. My boy Connor Sullivan.
Back.
Shout out.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that fresh cut, dude.
Wow.
Look at that fresh, clean face. That was back in 2018 when I had more juice than I do now. But
hey,
yeah, that stadium was rocking, man. We did a show for ProSieben. If you go check it out, you'll see that Schalke's got some crazy fans. So hopefully we could recruit some of those football fans to American football championship game.
Absolutely, man. You'll have to recreate that photo and maybe get that jersey on again when we are hopefully at the championship game this year. A couple people in the chat. Benji Barnes, Nalf and Silas. What's good? What's up, Benji? Jonata Loris says, up, Benji. We got some people here in the chat. And Mike, everything just went blurry. I can't read your last name, Mike. Sorry about that. But that is a big thing here. And if you want to watch the press conference from this week, you can rewatch the live stream of it on the YouTube channel, get a little of that info. I do think that there's English subtitles now for you English speakers, which
I don't need that. I don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need that. No, we don't need that because of our expertise in multiple languages.
Yeah, so, that's right.
We have got now, look at that graphic on there, guys. That looks absolutely beautiful. This just posted today on the social medias, and there is the logos, and you guys will notice there is another new logo, new branding on one of the teams in the ELF, the Prague Lions. You'll see it down there above the new Vienna Vikings logo. Let's talk about it. Chat, let us know what you think about the new Prague Lions logo. Silas, give me your thoughts, man.
I like it, man. I like the color. I don't love the lion. He looks a little old. Like he kind of looks like an old lion, and old lions, yeah. He doesn't scare me. He doesn't look too super fierce, but I like it better than the original. I definitely like the color difference. The bright orange of the old logo was just too much, man. It reminded me of when the Frankfurt Galaxy pulled out those neon orange.
Oh yeah,
those are the ugliest jerseys ever. And so I like the new color. I think we're about to talk about it right now, but there's a lot of new stuff happening with Prague, and I think it's a great time to rebrand.
Yeah, that's a great point. We're going to touch on that stuff in a second here. A couple of your guys' thoughts. Mao Chow, Lions logo looks like some old English soccer team. I could see that, but I agree with you here. I love the color change. It feels a little bit more elegant and sophisticated. I get what you're saying, Silas, about the lion looking a little bit old. Old lions are a little bit scary. It reminds me of Mufasa from Lion King, who, spoiler alert, ends up perishing in the movie.
You're kidding me, bro.
No, dude, I was going to watch it. I was going to watch it on Friday.
I was going to watch that this year.
I know. We're going to have to blur that out or bleep that out. Big spoiler on ELF Live this week. So what are you guys saying, Balu? I like the old logo more. I just have to disagree. Silas, what you said, the orange to me is a little bit childish, a little bit silly, a little bit cartoonish. The new Prague Lions logo, it's sleek, it's sophisticated, and it really stamps the new chapter that they're ending or that they're starting right now. And Silas, you want to read kind of this announcement, if we have it here on our document, of what what they've got. Listen up, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So wait, you want me to read this?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think it's got some good info. Oh yeah.
I mean, that people can read. Like, you don't have to.
How dare you assume that everybody can read? No, that's on me. I didn't know Maxie was going to put it out.
If they can't read it, then they're probably not. If they can't read the English, they're not going to be able to hear me and understand the English, Nick. I don't know.
This was just, you got me. You know what? You got me. And it's because I underestimated our producer, Maxie, with how fast he would put that up. So you guys read that for yourself, process that information with your brain.
Here's what I like about the logo too. I think it fits the city of Prague better. If you've ever been to Prague, It is a beautiful, old, elegant city that it just fits better. And so, and speaking of which, like, I know I've hated on Prague a lot in the last shows, but there are some big things happening in Prague that actually have kind of got are getting me a lot more on board. Benji Barnes asked in the chat, is it true that Devontae Parker is an investor? It is true.
Wow. Perfect question. Here's what we've got right now, the info. Devontae Parker is an investor. Here's what we've got here from one of their announcements. Prague Lions' new owner and general manager Mason Parker acquired the team towards the end of the 2023 ELF season and has since led significant investment throughout the organization, including into the playing squad. Parker and investment partners have so far committed a total of nearly $2 million for the club, putting the Prague Lions in a strong financial position for the seasons to come, as the team announced in a press release. The club has seasoned investor base with significant experience in business, finance, and the sports and entertainment industries, including Motley Crue frontman Vince Neil and NFL wide receiver Devontae Parker. Whoa, pretty legit.
That's legit, man. That's legit. Perfect. But I will say this. It says they've committed a total of nearly $2 million. So I think we still got to question how serious is this commitment, because we've heard this before with different organizations. They got all these investors behind them. In fact, Prague, the guy recruiting me from Prague last year, told me how many people they had invested in it. And so we're getting news that it's in the club.
I love the fact, Silas, I love the fact that like we're taught new rebranding, everything positive about Prague, like looks good, and we're about to move on to the next subject, but you had to just double back and just sneak one more punch into Prague. We don't let them off the hook.
Off the hook, huh? I'm a man of the people, man. I'm gonna always let the people know it straight. I'm not gonna. This is an authentic show, and they're gonna get a true analysis of my views of things. But from what we're hearing, that nearly 2 million is already in the club, which means that maybe I do take a 1-game contract in Prague.
Maybe. Hey, his phone line's open. Maybe he does. So that's what we got. Exciting stuff for the Prague Lions. Rebranding time. Perfect time for a rebrand. You guys in the chat, it seems like most of you guys are agreeing here that at least some elements of this are looking better and perfect timing. Lastly, before we move on, because we didn't get to talk about it last week, Silas, the Vienna Vikings, their new logo. What is your opinion on that? Because we asked Alexander in his interview, but we didn't get to talk about it. And chat, let us know your opinion on the Vienna Vikings new logo.
I mean, I don't think it's like crazy cool, or I don't think it's ugly either. I think it's a good logo. I think it fits it. I think it's good to rebrand for this league.
Yeah.
To separate the two. Vienna Vikings for the Austrian Football League, and then the Vienna Vikings, different logo for the European League of Football. I think that's a smart play. I like it. It's clean. It's modern. Doesn't like shock me or anything.
Yeah. It's well, somebody says, Uli, for me, it's a vanilla cone with horns. I did not see that until now. Now I can't unsee that.
It's a vanilla cone with horns, bro.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I
the
like
the Vienna vanilla cones.
Yeah. What he had. Oh, yeah. Or Volksbank logo comes to mind as a German. I like what Alexander said last week about it. It was like, maybe it takes a little bit of time for people to get used to, but it is overall the right move for the organization in terms of marketing and branding in the future, moving forward and kind of separating itself from like positioning itself as the Minnesota Vikings little brother or something like that. So it's good to get away from them. So that's what we got on our news segment. And I think we're moving to the signing center. There we go. Silas, you want to bring us in with the first signing of the week?
Yeah. Ryan Fire back at it again, naturally. Signing Sebastian Sagne. Sagne? Is it Sagne?
I would say Sagne.
So this is big news, because when I first saw this guy, I thought he was an American import. He's actually a European import. Was born in Finland. Was played with the Frankfurt Universe for a little bit. Later with the Helsinki Wolverines. And this looks like their guy to replace Anthony Mahungu. He's going to be their European. It looks like he's going to be their go-to guy for that. And they still have another American on offense to sign too. So this is a big sign for them. They're going to be stacked again.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think just what you said there. Yeah, he's the Mahungu replacement. I'm so curious who the Fire signed for their offensive A. Obviously there are two guys from last year, Roby and Willie Patterson, both gone to different teams. So it's going to be a new guy. And with what we know about the Rhine Fire, it's going to be legit. Yeah. Next, speaking of Roby, another signing is a future teammate of our guy, Roby, for the Enthroners offensive lineman. And I'm so sorry if I butcher your name, which I probably will. Botond Kreisai, the offensive lineman, born and raised in Hungary, 32 years old. He started playing football in 2008. He has past stints with the Hildesheim Invaders and the Dresden Monarchs and the Berlin Adler. And he plays for the Hungarian national team. Nice bolstering up the offensive line there. And, Enthroners are making good moves in the right direction, especially with the Roby signing there. And that's another great one. So,
yeah. Also,
yeah,
he definitely has the award for best hometown. That's his hometown on that flag right there. Zala Eggerzeg.
Oh. Hey,
my name's Boten, and I'm from Zala Eggerzeg.
Good luck with that pronunciation. There you go.
Can you imagine this guy's interactions with people for the first time? Like, you're like, hey, I'm Nick. Oh, hey, Nick, where are you from? Portland.
Sure.
What's your name? My name's Boten. Where are you from? Zala Eggerzeg. Like,
hey, it's probably easy for him.
I can't imagine many people being like, oh, yeah, Zala Eggerzeg. Yeah, I heard it's lovely there.
maybe there's maybe there are some, but hey, man, some towns are more easy to pronounce than others. Waco is the easy one. Portland is easy. Zala Geiger said, not as easy. Not as easy. Okay. So anyway, we're moving on. We're moving on to your previous team, Silas. Your guards.
Yeah.
You got a new guy.
Yeah.
Who is he?
Yeah, Anthony Brown taking over as wide receiver 1 for the Helvetic Guards. Actually, Anthony, I think he did message me on Instagram. Anthony, if you're watching this, I'll definitely get back to you. We should connect. I'll let you know the spots to go around Lucerne, Switzerland, where the imports stay. 23 years old. He's from Belton, Texas. That's right down the road. In fact, there's a school right over there called University of Mary Hardin Baylor, which is a pretty big D3 school. He went to St. Anselm College, Division II, all-conference selection in every season he played. So this is a smaller school guy. I think he's going to be a great fit for the Helvetic Guards. Anthony, if you're watching this, go out there and just be open, have an open mind, and
an open heart.
You got it, man. You got it.
You got it, man. Hey, I actually watched his tape today. He was a 3-year captain, according to his tape, which is very impressive to start being a captain on the team as a sophomore. It feels like they're trying to find another Silas Nasita type when I watched his tape. He did a little bit of everything, playing a receiver, a little bit of wildcat quarterback, returning kicks and punts. It felt very much like this is sort of our brand for what we want as an A, and let's try and get another guy like this, in my opinion. So that's just
honestly, I can't wait to just hear his analysis, and just I can't wait for him to call me and just be like, bro.
That sounds bad. Is that a good bro or a bad bro?
In both ways. Both ways. It's going to be his first time. Man, Switzerland is a freaking incredible country. The team, I loved every single guy. Like there wasn't a guy on the team I didn't like. It was a great time. I mean, we obviously just really struggled on offense. It was really tough, but I'm excited to just catch up with the guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Man. And what was I going to say about him? I had something like really, really good to say right there, and then I just lost it. Anyway, Anthony Brown, welcome to the ELF. Oh, I was about to say, I love the Division II 4-year starter American import signing. I love that type of A for your first year over in Europe. Division II, so he's not expecting, luxurious amenities like you would get at Alabama or something. This always helps with your transition. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think he's had some success. All right, next guy, Paris Musketeers. Chaikai So, wide receiver, the French national. 25 years old. Back to the Musketeers. He started playing flag football in 2009, tackle football in 2014, and he won the European Championship with the French national team in 2018. Stint with the Frankfurt Galaxy in 2021 after playing for the Dresden Monarchs in 2019. So another great addition for the Paris Musketeers, a team that I'm pretty high on. I think a lot of people are pretty high on. And I'm just very curious to see what they do in year 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, You got any thoughts on him?
I mean, not really, man. I think he has a good experience with a lot of good teams, Frankfurt, Dresden, Paris. I think going into year 2, he'll probably be a lot better. I didn't get a chance to see him play too much last year. We only saw Paris in the preseason with the scrimmage, and nobody had their names on their jerseys yet. So I had no idea who he was. But that right there, that shot right there, he looked like he got sniped. So he just need to watch out for the sniper fire, and he'll be
Turf monster.
Turf monster.
The next signing is for a Southern German team. No, not the Stuttgart Surge. Munich Ravens. They have signed their DB American import, Joshua Flowers. He played for Winston-Salem State. It's an HBCU, and he was an All-American, recorded 130 tackles, tons of picks, forced fumbles, a really, really good college player. I watched his tape today as well, and he's big, man. He's like 6'3", 195. He's a long, lanky corner, like great size, which I think is absolutely terrifying for offenses. That's just a really great asset to have. Munich, this is gonna be a good team, man, and they definitely did their due diligence and got a good A there.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Whenever they first signed him, I thought that they signed Zay Flowers.
So you're a little disappointed now.
Yeah, but I mean, now I'm not to say that Joshua Flowers isn't a baller. I'm just saying I thought that. I was like, did he just get tired of the NFL? This guy's going to the Ravens. Like, how? Sean Shelton must just be like been lying out his butt of what kind of money they have over there.
Sean Shelton is absolutely killing it. Hey, man, for real, though, they really are. He's doing a great job. When you talk to anybody in the organization there or surrounding it or interact with him at all, what is somebody in the chat? Silas acoustic?
Do I sound funny right now?
I don't know. I don't think they meant that. But Sean Shelton, is just crushing it with the Munich Ravens.
Oh, bro. Do you think they meant autistic?
Oh, yeah. Chat is taking shots at you, bro. Whoa, chat.
Whoa, what the?
Fire back.
That doesn't even make any sense. All right, let's keep going, bro. We're going to be on these chats. Got to waste our time here.
Yeah, we got beef with the chat now.
Let's move on. Munich Ravens got another big signing. They're re-signing the one and only Etuale Lui, one of the few Samoans in the European League of Football. Played for the Ravens last year in 2023. He was part of the NFL International Combine. Yeah, honestly, dude, Samoans, it's always good to have a Samoan on your team. Samoans are just built different. We had a Samoan on our team last year, J.R. Tavai, and they are just crazy, bro. They are built different. They are the type of people who will just fight anybody at any time. They're violent.
Warrior culture, man. It's like a warrior culture. Yeah, you hear people talk about that, like when you hear like The Rock talk about kind of Samoan culture and Pacific Islander culture. It's warrior culture. So that's always great to have on your football team. And speaking of the man, I believe that we have got him with us here on the show, all the way from New Zealand. It's early in the morning now, 5 a.m. now. Do we have him?
Kia ora. Hello, everybody.
Yes, Etuale. Welcome to the show, man. We appreciate you waking up early. What time is it there right now?
5:25 at the moment. Thanks for having me, guys.
You kind of look like you're locked up right now.
No, I'm just in. It's pretty early in the morning. Don't want to wake anybody else. So I'm trying to stay as far as I can from the door.
There we
It's
go.
also crazy to hear a Samoan with like almost like an Aussie accent. That is that too common?
Sorry.
You kind of have like what I imagine an Australian accent. Is it different from New Zealand?
Yeah. No, Australians have different accents from us. For us, we feel as if they sound a lot more like people from the UK, and I just feel like, no pun intended, but I feel like we just sound a whole lot more masculine than Australians. But
There we go. Take those shots. Take those shots at the Aussies. Etuale, bro, we've got a bunch of questions for you, but first we actually got a couple good questions from the chat. First, Mike Mathis, he asked, how's Joe Thomas? Have you had any interaction with Joe Thomas? I know he's doing offensive stuff, but have you had any interaction with him?
Yeah. I've only had one so far, which was last year. Obviously, I haven't flown over to Germany just yet. I'm still doing my work here in Australia. But, just from what I got last year, he seems like a really down-to-earth type of person. Someone who likes to share his knowledge and really likes to get involved with the team. It's really cool to see somebody who's played at the highest level come down to, to people like us and not have an ego. To also just, share what it's like being at the top and what it's going to take for us to want to play at the highest level. So, down-to-earth guy.
Absolutely, man. I mean, that's just really cool to have involved with the organization. And we'll talk about the organization a little bit more, but back to you. You technically started playing organized football in 2022. Is this correct?
No, 2023, last year was my first time.
Last year. So basically, last year was your first true season on an official football team.
Yeah, correct.
How was that, man? And I know you played rugby. Do you feel like your rugby skills translated immediately to the football field? Can you kind of talk us through what was your first year being on a football team like?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. It was an experience to remember. One for the books. But it was also very difficult, to be honest. Coming from rugby league, we have a game plan and it's just on one sheet of paper. And then you come over to football and your game plan is basically like a dictionary. So it's like trying to learn a whole different language. But other than that, everything else seemed to, run smoothly. I'm so used to the contact. I love the contact. I love the nitty gritty side of football. But just still trying to learn the technique and everything. The game itself was a bit tough, but towards the end there, you start to get the hang of things. But I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really looking forward to what 2024 has in store for me.
What do you think some of the challenges were for the Munich Ravens in 2023, and how do you think you guys will improve on them coming up this season?
I think for us, number one was injuries. Just trying to monitor injuries and trying to keep players healthy and trying to keep us rotated. We didn't do much of that last year, and and lack of experience. There are a lot of us that came into the league and we didn't really know what the expectations were at playing with the highest level, because a lot of us had never had a taste of that. But yeah, I think those are the two main ingredients that we were missing out on this past year was just a healthy team and a lack of experience, because we had a lot of talent and we had a lot of hard workers. That was basically the main thing we were missing was just healthy players and experience. And I think that's where we got it right this off season. We've got a very experienced coach not to say our previous coach wasn't experienced, but we've brought in somebody that who can look at football from both sides as a coach and as a player, and also help out with the boys. Relate in that aspect. We've also brought in players, that are really experienced, that have played the game for such a long time, that have had experience overseas and from the top for the highest level and things like that. So I think that's where we got it right. Is we found our missing pieces from last year, and we finally started to connect the dots this year. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you touched on it a little bit there, but kind of overall, how is the sentiment and the vibe of the team now with Coach Ellison coming down and being the coach, especially you as a defensive guy? What's our kind of the expectations for the Munich Ravens in 2024?
I think it's just the expectation for us. I mean, for ourselves specifically, we're trying to hold ourselves to a high standard. We're not taking it easy on people. We're trying to get out there and prove a point. We're trying to get out there and knuckle down and smash some fellas into the ground. And we're trying to put some fear into some teams and make them guys not want to play us. Not look forward to playing the Munich Ravens. And I think that's one thing that coaches installed in us was, to believe in ourselves as much as we believe in our brothers, to go out there and trust one another, that everything will connect well. So once we get out there, the offense is going to be thinking a whole lot of how this is going to go down, because I promise we're a team to look out for, and especially this defense that we've got, we're a team to look out for. We're going to install some fear into some teams, and look out for us Munich Ravens coming on.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I agree 100%. And I do want to ask you specifically, because I think it is kind of shaping up to be one of the cooler rivalries in the ELF. The Stuttgart Surge, Munich Ravens versus Stuttgart Surge, two teams in Southern Germany, both in the Central Conference. Last year, traded games. You guys won one, they won one. Can you just talk a little bit about kind of this rivalry that's developing here in Southern Germany?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool, and I love things with a bit of rivalry, with a bit of meaning behind it. I don't think a lot of people see it that way, but for me personally, respect to the Surge boys, but just the way they took that first game, and they can listen to this all they want, and it's not going to bother me. But I took that first game really personal, because I felt like we had that in the bag. We had the team to beat them, and just the way they went about it, kind of. I took that personal, and I think for all the other boys is, we kind of took that personal as well, and we're looking at, this little rivalry that everyone's starting to talk about, and I think it's really cool, especially for the game itself, for the European culture as well, to get behind it, and you look back at it in a few years' time and say, damn, it all started back here, and these were the guys that kind of built it, and I really want to leave a mark behind, where everybody's going to talk about the Munich Ravens and the Stuttgart Surge. Teams really went head to head, and there was no holding back.
Yeah. Hey, did you have any other offers this season, or did you just want to go back to Munich? Did you consider going anywhere else?
No, I mean, I was, I spoke with, I had spoken with a few clubs, I won't say, but my intentions were always to go back to Munich, because of one, Sean Shelton. He was one of the guys that really knew how to look after us. The guys that were from Germany. And I always trusted him, but I always knew that the Munich Ravens were going into the right direction, and to see that And to manifest that, I always wanted to be a part of such a great legacy and to be a part of what Munich Ravens is building. I want people to talk about that, years on and be like, these guys really made a name for the Munich Ravens and for the Bavarian culture. And, I want to leave a stamp on this city and be a part of this legacy.
Absolutely, man. And actually, we got a good question here from the chat from Balu. Balu has asked, "What is your connection to the fans?" I had the impression that the Raven fans loved him last year. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with the Munich Ravens fans? And I know you also did I don't know how many times, but at least once I saw the video of the haka, if I'm saying that right, dance on the sideline. So can you talk about your relationship with the Ravens fan base?
Yeah, for sure. It's really cool. It's really cool, but I really get, I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's just more, taking the sport, but also finding a balance, to connect with the fans and let them know that, yeah, just because I play football and just because I play on a big stage like the European Football League, I will always find common ground with you guys to connect. And I think just being out there and being goofy and just giving the fans something to laugh about, not always being tense. I feel like I find a bit of peace with that. It kind of calms me down to know that some of the fans really enjoy it and really. I get excited to see some of that stuff, so I really connect with the fans. And when I do a bit of those dancings on the sideline, just to let them know, it's all right. Just because we're football players, we're still human beings. We're all on the same level. We're still equal. But yeah, it's a really cool thing to see. Just to see the smiles on the fans' faces. That's the main goal at the end of the day. Football will be football, but at the end of the day, you want to put smiles on fans' faces. They pay a lot of hard work and money on their tickets to come and watch, and the ultimate goal is to win. But then you want to also put some smiles on some faces. So,
absolutely, man. Yeah, and I would appreciate that because obviously what happens on the football field is so important, but also kind of, especially here in the European League of Football, as this is a growing sport, kind of the connection with the fans and the experience as a whole for the people on the field and off the field in the seats watching the game. So I really appreciate that you bring that value on the field, but also off the field as well, man. Before we let you go, I do want to just ask one last question about kind of you personally as a football player. So last year was your first official year, like we talked about. 2024, how do you feel personally about you as a defensive lineman football player, and what are your expectations for yourself on this next season, 2024?
I feel great. I'm going into 2024. And I think nothing less than greatness this year. Just go out there and be better than you were last year. Whatever you need to improve on that. But 2024 is be better than you were last year, or even be better than you were yesterday. So for me, it's nothing short of greatness. That's what I'm aiming to be this year. Go out there and be great. Be the greatest you can be. And if it comes to it, try and be the greatest lineman in the game. That's what I'm aiming for this year.
Love it.
Love that, man. Hey, Etuale, thank you so much for joining us on the show, man. Thanks for everything that you do on the field and off the field. And lastly, thank you so much for staying up so damn late or now early to do this interview all the way across the world, man. We really appreciate it. Now go get some sleep into the afternoon and rest up, man.
Jay, guys, have a good one. God bless.
Yeah. All the best, man.
All right. Real quick.
¿Vos de qué parte sos?
Yo de aquí.
Ah, mira.
See that? You see that commercial for that phone? That's a nice phone. Hey,
Shout out
he's
Euronics, man.
shout out. Etuale is a cool guy, man. What'd you think? What'd you think? What he had to say?
I mean, I was surprised by the accent. That always throws me off with these guys. Because anytime you see like a big old colored dude in America, they sound like they got kind of a certain accent, right? Anytime you see that, but then you go over to Europe, and it throws me off every time. It's some sort of British accent, some sort of like Australian accent, some sort of African accent, and it gets me. But it's cool, man. He sounds cool. Samoans are chill people, man. I had a teammate from Samoa last year, and he's just so chill, so down to earth. They vibe well. They just like know how to really kick back, and they also know how to fight.
Exactly, man. Perfect balance. Can relax, be chill off the field, but then on the field, know when to turn it on. He gives me that vibe 100%. Obviously, like kind of a showman and fun guy with some of the videos that we've seen with him doing like the dance and stuff, but then on the field and really turn it on. I like his mentality talking about, I like how he talked about kind of the rivalry bubbling up between the Surge and them. Felt like there was a little bit of, I don't want to say animosity there, but definitely a little bit of fire and ready to play them. I'm really pumped for that rivalry between those two teams.
Yeah, I agree. I think Surge and Munich will be one of the biggest rivalries that we see in the future.
Liking it. So next segment, man, we are moving in to hot or not. Chat, you guys are playing this along with us. All right. So our writer, Dominic, he has made some takes for us. Now you can choose here. Is it a hot take or is it a cold take? If you say hot, that means you agree with it. If you say cold, that means you disagree. So chat, you put yours in the chat there, and you can also vote. Now, Silas, first one, Rhein Fire and Stuttgart Surge will both make it to the championship game. Again, what is your opinion?
Hot. I think hot. I think it happens. I don't think that there is. Rhein Fire was too good. Like they were obviously going to make last year. They're not losing really many people at all. They'll be back. They're not going to drop off that much. And then Stuttgart, they're going to be better this year than they were last year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to say hot as well. Now in the chat, we've got Ravens crowd obviously says cold. I think we know why. I think I know who you think's going to make it to the championship game. Athletes Forum, Jamal, he says no. Jamal, who do you think then? Elko, Apple, hot. Elo, not. Balu, not. If you think it's not, tell us who you think it is. Silas and I both say hot. And you guys give us a little backup. Cold. They're going to play in the semi, says Mike Mathis. Interesting. I mean, to me,
how that would work.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on, I guess, how the bracket goes. I mean, to me, the top teams, it's going to be hard, man, because there's going to be some legit ones. Yeah, Paris versus Rovslaw. I mean, you got them. You got the Ravens. Those are kind of to me, the elite teams. Paris, Rovslaw, Surge, Fire.
Why do you keep saying Rovslaw?
How do you say it? That's how you say it. I'm a man of culture, bro.
Is it not Roclaw?
Isn't it? Maybe it's Roclaw.
Where's the S? I don't see an S.
Fraudslaw. That's what Maxie said. He typed it out. Our producer just typed it out. Fraud. I don't know, man. I'm going to stop trying. I think I'm just getting myself in hot water here. Listen, Silas, I have a European passport, so I know how to pronounce all of these European.
You have a bogus European passport.
It's a nice loophole. Benji said Centurions. Hey, what do you think about that?
Benji Boob.
Okay, Balu said one of the two against the Ravens, Musketeers, or Vikings. Malala says Thunder. Don't know of that one. So look here at the result. 45 to 55. 45% say hot, 55% say cold. That's pretty good results here. I mean, We got it. We got a lot of good teams. It's going to be an exciting season. I think the top is closer than we think. Fire, I think, is 1, but I would count out Rob. I would or wouldn't count out Rovslav Vikings.
I wouldn't count out.
Yeah.
Those
Okay.
three. I'm not counting them out. I just think that Jordan is just too. He's too good, man. He's developed too strong of a culture that it's like the Alabama and Clemson. Like I think Ryan Fire right now is the I would say Ryan Fire right now is like the Georgia, and then the Surge is Alabama.
I like that, man. I like that. And then maybe next year is the Surge's year. So we got some more. I don't know how close Paris is. Depends on their defense, says Jamal, Athletes Forum. Yeah. So, I mean, I agree with you, man. And just like you said earlier, especially if they can stay healthy, the Surge. I know people don't like when I talk about the Surge because I have a special interest in the team. But they did all of that last year with going through 3 different quarterbacks. You got Riley Hennessy back. If he's consistent through the year, healthy, they're going to be in a good spot. Knock on wood. So, next one. Our next take. What do we have? Kyle Kitchens won't lead the ELF in sacks for the first time. Chat, is this hot or is this not? Is it cold?
I'm going to say cold. I'm going to say cold.
Think he'll do it again?
I haven't seen anybody really sign anybody that is really like an edge guy or a D tackle that is better. Have you?
Not really. And I feel like all the new A's that are signed on defense, they're DBs. I can't really recall right now any new splashy A edge or pass rush type players in the recent years. Everyone in the chat is saying cold. Yeah, everyone's saying cold. Nobody agrees with this. I'm going to have to say cold as well, because just what you said, man, who else if not him?
Yeah. Aaron.
Oh yeah, gosh. That's a good point. Harlan. That's a good point. You got me there. That's a pretty big splashy sign. He's not an A though. He's not an A. That's why I didn't have it in my category.
Yeah. But I still don't think so because Aaron is playing on a really good defense where you're going to have a lot of other guys making big plays. So typically the people who lead in stats are playing on teams that aren't loaded across the board.
Fantastic point. It's a fantastic point. Because otherwise, yeah, it gets if you got a lot of good players making plays, that equals to good results, good team, more distribution on the stats. When you got one guy going crazy on some things, very often that is the case. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that, man. Cold. And it seems like all of you guys basically agree. Yeah, there we go. And we agree. Silas, we agree on both so far.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens on the third one. Third take. A non-QB will win the MVP award. Chat, let us know what you think. Is this hot? Is this not? Is it cold? A non-QB will win the MVP award. All right, let me think here. Who could? Cold. I mean, you know how that's unheard of in the NFL. Basically, at least as of recently. I mean, I think it's just so hard for that to happen.
I mean, because think about it. If you're a receiver, unless you're doing a lot of returns as well,
right?
Who threw you the ball to score that? Exactly.
That's true. If a receiver has a crazy statistical year, I mean, it's going to be from the quarterback also having a crazy statistical year. Right. It's like if you look at Markel Castle and Chad Jeffries last year, right?
Like, even though Markel was ranked like 2 and Chad was 3, I think, or still, it's like in an MVP race, I think you're going to give that to Chad over Markel because he's affecting the offense a lot more than Markel. And then you got, I think about Devontae Smith, Alabama, a few years ago, winning the Heisman.
Yeah.
He did like punt returns.
Yeah.
Well. And I think he scored a lot on like fly sweeps. I don't want to remember.
Right. People are saying in the chat, unless Madre London will return. Who said, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there too, man. It's cold. They gave us a couple like who could be. I mean, who like statistically, there's going to be some receivers that are having a great year. Probably Markel Castle, Mohangu. Obviously, you got Glenn Tunga at the running back, who just super splashy. Darrell Stewart Jr. with the surge, especially if he plays the whole season this year. But just like you said, man, any of these guys, if these receivers are having great years, it's because their quarterback is having a great year too. And so we're gonna go cold. Sadly, we agreed on all three, Silas. Maybe we get more drama next time.
We disagree on just about everything else, so it's all right.
That's good. That's good. Those are the only three things we agree on in the world. It only happens here on this chat. Somebody wants Harlan. You're in the chat. Somebody says, "Can you say hi to my daughter Olivia?" You can type that. You can type that. Harlan Quovey, say that to their daughter. Yeah. So those are hot or not. We're kind of all on the same page there.
Yeah. They weren't that I guess what's the word? Divisive. They weren't that divisive. I feel like they were
first one kind of was. That was a 50-50.
Yeah, I guess.
But the other two, you're right, it was like 90-10. So not too fiery. So that's what we got on hot or not. Now, we've got a quick little shout out about the ELF Game Pass. There is a 7-day free trial for the ELF Game Pass. You can go in there for 7 days, check it out. You can rewatch all of the games from the previous years. You can check out the documentary that is on there, all the exclusive content. So you can check that out with the link that is in the chat. I think that.
Yeah. Also, Nick, I think if you check out that trial, you'll be able to see all three of my highlights from 2023.
Hey, that's three more than me. At least you made it to the ELF, man. At least you lasted long enough to play in the ELF. You got those highlights forever, man.
I did use that pass last year. Really impressive for Europe, man. I'm telling you, just to be able to catch all the games, all the highlights. I think the biggest part is just the fact that you can also put like multiple games on. That's really impressive, bro. That's like really impressive. GFL back in the day, it was like random live streams that you'd have to like search up. Maybe American Football International posts the link that you could watch the game.
Right.
But you'd always have to like go search for it. Here you can get on this Game Pass and just every single game. You'll get notification when the game starts, all of that. It's legit. I'll definitely have one.
Man. I'm gonna go hot take here and tell you that ELF Game Pass is better than NFL Game Pass on the Zone this year. That was a bad product. ELF Game Pass way better. I know some of you guys are gonna agree with me. If you agree with me in the chat, let me know, because the ELF Game Pass performed better for me on that. But yeah, it's great to be able to watch all the games, and I think that we got to market this to a lot of people in the States too. I think like American college kids would love this. To pull this up on Saturday mornings in the spring and summer, to be able to have this, watch ELF football. I think that there's a big opportunity there. So that's what we got, guys. And now we have got our final interview of the day, a very special guest, the hometown hero of Southwest Germany, of Stuttgart, legendary Stuttgart Surge player, Louis Geyer, is on the show.
What's up, everybody?
Willkommen.
Geyer, what's up, man? Thank you so much for joining us on the show, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. So we, everybody knows all of your accomplishments, everything that you've accomplished, especially this past year. I want to walk back to, I guess it was not this time last year, but a little bit earlier, in the end of 2022, when you heard that Jordan Newman became the head coach of the Stuttgart Surge. Now, when you hear Jordan talk about kind of what happened this year, he always says that the first piece that he got was Louis Geyer. It was very important to get you as this first piece of building this team. Can you talk a little bit about your guys' initial conversation, and did you have any hesitancy to come back to Stuttgart?
Sure. So after the season in Cologne, I was like, okay, what's the next plan? And because Stuttgart is my hometown, I kind of saw myself drawn to that direction again. So I had Stuttgart in mind, was talking to some teams, and then rumors was going around, okay, Jordan maybe will bring his staff and will come to the Stuttgart Surge and be the new head coach for the Stuttgart Surge. And I was like thinking about it, and I was like, if that happens, Stuttgart is back on the map, and I'm talking like high caliber team. And like one day after it got announced, phone rings. Jordan was on the phone. I didn't even have his number, and but he knows his contacts, I guess. So I talked with him, and I think I said to him the first call, "Yeah, I'm down. I'm in." Like there was no hesitation. Like I followed Jordan during his time in Schwäbisch Hall, and what he did is legendary. Like he is the best coach when you talk about European football, and so playing under him and under his staff is an amazing staff. I think the best in the ELF. So having that as an offer to play for was just no doubt. I'm gonna play for you, and I'm happy. Yeah.
Louis, did you play for Jordan at Schwäbisch Hall, or were you playing with Stuttgart Scorpions?
Never. I played with the Stuttgart Scorpions until COVID hit German football, and then my first season was with the Stuttgart Surge. That was actually my first like adult football. My first ELF season. It's pretty cool. And then I did my second year was with the Cologne Centurions. So then I came back from there, and that was the first year I had with Jordan.
Louis, can you talk a little bit, obviously, so that was kind of your mentality with the decision to join the Surge and be a part of kind of this rebuild. Can you talk a little bit about 2023? I'm sure you expected the team to be better than in previous years, but did you expect to be playing in the championship game and scoring the first touchdown in the championship game?
Honestly, I did expect it. Like we had high expectations, and I think there were some rumors or talks. Yeah, the Surge is and they are more that they are. Like they didn't prove themselves. A new team, so there were talks around. But we knew we were a team. We knew we're a high caliber team that can play against the best in the league. So we had that goal in mind before the season, but we had to prove it to ourselves and to the community, I guess. But we took it game by game. So of course we had the division in mind. Okay, we want to play for the championship in September, but we took every game like as our championship game, and things counted up, and we were in the championship game. But I say it was a dream of mine, like catching the first touchdown in the final. I wish I had done some more in the final, more touchdowns, but there's a new season coming up, so I have a chance to do it again.
What do you think is so special about Jordan?
I think his calmness, his always making the right decision. I think I never had like a feeling in my mind when I was on the field, okay, Jordan doesn't have a play for that exact situation. Mm-hmm. So we could be at the third and forever. I think, okay, Jordan got the play that will bring us the first down. And I didn't even question it. And I think I played under coaches that wouldn't like have the exact calmness or the decision-making in those situations. And Jordan was like, okay, yeah, that's the situation. We got that in that play. And then we like in practice the whole week, we drilled for situations like this. So it's just like a factory worker that is just under his command, and like his calmness and decision making, I think, was what makes him great.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Louis. I love that you said that, man. That's probably one of my favorite characteristics of Coach Newman too, and I got to see that over the years, and then especially in these really high pressure situations, to have the leader of the team and the head coach have this calm mentality. And one of the things I was also impressed with a lot of the Stuttgart Surge players this year, and you guys doing a lot of stuff, all of this mentality work, I think is a super impressive thing. And that kind of all stems from the top. There was a little bit of adversity this year with the surge. You guys went through 3 different quarterbacks. You have 3 different starting quarterbacks. Can you talk a little bit about this situation, especially for you as a receiver? Your job and performance is so dependent on your quarterback and your connection with the quarterback. How was this year fighting through having a new quarterback time and again?
Yeah, it's tough. Having a great quarterback like Riley, for me, the best quarterback I ever played with, going down, I was like, as a receiver, it breaks your heart because I have such a good connection to Riley. Like, we trust each other blind. So having a connection, like from a receiver standpoint with a quarterback, is so important. Like, the chemistry has to like be perfect. And when you see your quarterback go down, your friend go down, it's always like, okay, what now? But then again, the decision making, what's the next point? Jordan got the new man. We call Jan Weinreich, good friend of mine. So we got our first quarterback there, and he did his job. He did so well. Like, I think people not understand how difficult it is to come in like in 1 week, learn a whole ELF playbook and deliver week by week in practice. And at first practice, he had his game like on. He was completing passes. He was handing out signals, like he was in. And I think that only speaks for himself. So yeah, then we had Kenyatte, another great guy. I think he did his best job, and I think he had his best job interview with the game against Milan. So yeah, and again, it only speaks for like the coaching staff of the Stuttgart Surge, and I think like the system Jordan has for his offense. I think, in my opinion, you can put every quarterback in there, and with the weapons we have, we'll bring out a good offense that can deliver. Yeah. But having Riley back, and it was never a decision, okay, will Riley be the starting quarterback when he returns? It was always, the decision was made, okay, Riley's our guy, and everybody was completely fine with that. So having Riley back, and I think against the Ravens was such a blast, and we knew we had the spirit, and then he would take us all the way.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. I envy you, man. I envy you because my entire time in Europe, I saw Jordan and his coaching and his staff and what he's been doing over there, and I wanted to be a part of it in some way. And it's cool to hear you talk about it as a player, more importantly, a homegrown player, and talk about the coaching staff there and be able to say, yeah, this is the right way to run a team. Because like you said, and we've all experienced, well, I don't know, Nick, you only ever played for Jordan, right?
Yeah. I played for Ziggy in my first year, but for Jordan for 7 years.
Right. So you didn't have to experience it, but there's a lot of coaches in Europe that don't really know how to inspire and lead players the way Jordan has obviously done with homegrowns and imports. And it's really cool to hear from your perspective that he is doing that well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I 100% agree. He's the GOAT. He's one of the European GOATs. Louis, obviously. Oh, hold on. In the chat, we got here from Alex Machow. Geyer over under 800 yards this year. Over, easy. Hammer that over. But speaking of this, you're part of a trio of very talented wide receivers. Got yourself, you've got Daryl Stewart Jr., and you've got Yannick Meyer. All 3 of you guys went for over 1,000 yards last year, which is hugely impressive. Can you tell me, kind of, maybe walk me through a little bit, how you would describe each of your game or each of your strengths are as a wide receiver and what you bring to the Surge?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Let me start with DJ. In my opinion, the best wide receiver in the ELF. He's just a complete all-rounder, like the prototype how a wide receiver should play the position and how he should be. I'm talking deep threat, short yardage situations. Like you can give him the ball and he will make a play. He's reliable. He can throw the ball up and he's going to catch it over everybody. So that's about DJ. There's just like nothing really to talk or like nothing he can't do. So with Yannick, I think he is one, if not the most athletic player in the league. So if you give him the ball, a fade, he will catch it. It's a short screen pass, and he sees any kind of green, he's gone, or he will jump over you. It's like no matter the situation, he will find a way. It's because he's so athletic. And I guess I try to mimic those two because like those are like idols for like my kind of playing. I want to be a sponge and take like every good thing about their game and like put it into my game. So I'm behind DJ in like every practice line, and I'm trying to like memorize his moves, and kind of like think similar like my game is to DJ's game. Or like I'm not saying on that level yet. I'm trying to be, but just my job is to get open. I think I'm doing a pretty good job at that. Like I think I can read a defender's body language well, so I can see when I see the DB, I know what he's doing before he's doing it, and then I can like do my move in a certain way and catch the ball. So I think I'm just a player that gets open, and then I catch the ball, and I can catch a jump ball for you and make that play. Don't ask me that. But,
Hell yeah, I got it.
I think I just do my job well, and yeah, that's it.
For sure, man. I mean, I agree 100%. I remember last year during some of the first few practices that I was joining you guys to do some filming stuff with the Surge, and this is before I knew you. It was maybe February, March, and Jordan would tell me, "Hey, watch this kid going through these routes." And obviously I saw that, and that was my first impression of you. And what's kind of we talked about and what really stood out is kind of how natural everything looks for you. You make things look quite easy, which just goes to show that it's so natural for you, and it's just been so fun to watch you, man. And it's crazy what you've accomplished so far. You're 22 years old. The future is bright as hell for you, man. And I'm just so excited to see what you continue to do. We got one last question here from the chat for the receivers. What do you think about Coach JoJo? This is from Marcus Kintz. Coach JoJo Joyner, the wide receivers coach.
Yeah, that's my family. Coach JoJo, I only have love for him. I know him for so long because we had an elite skill camp. I think Silas, you were a coach there as well. So
no way. I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I know Coach forever. And I think our friendship is like such a like strong bond. So not even the player coach, it's more like a family talk, like a big brother that I can talk to, not even about like football stuff, but everything that's going on. And I think it translates to have a bond with your coach like that. It translates so much in the drills and the communication in the game, which only like brings not us two, but like the whole receiver group. We have such like a close bond, a brotherhood. It like creates a whole different vibe in the game. So, and if he shouts at us, like we're totally like, okay, yeah, fine, 100%, and like we know what's up. So Coach JoJo is special, and I'm only of love for him.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
He also has gray hair now, and
best hair in the game.
I'm not gonna let that slide. I don't know if you're on here, but I'm gonna shout you out, man, for that great hair. I saw JoJo at Stuttgart my last game, and I almost didn't recognize him. I said, "What is going on?" And Jamal over here is saying I'm old. Go look at a picture of JoJo right now and see his gray pigtails sticking out like this.
Hey man, he looks great. That's a sign of a distinguished gentleman. It's the wisdom showing up right there. And the man is wise as hell. J9 JoJo Joyner. But absolutely, man. Louis, we appreciate you, man, coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hell yeah, man, and just so excited for what you're gonna do this year. Can't wait to see it.
Get your camera ready.
Yeah, we'll get the camera ready for sure, man. All right, Louis, thank you. man. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon, man.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for coming, man.
It's a good kid right there.
Dang, bro. The fact that I remember that skills camp, that lead skills camp.
When was that?
That was probably 2017, man. 2017. So what I would have been 23.
He'd be like
That'd
14,
mean
15,
he was
15
probably like
maybe.
14, yeah, he was like 14
14.
or 15.
Dude.
I remember that. I remember that clearly. It was with Corey. It was with JoJo was there. It was just a whole squad, man.
Where was it?
It was down. I think it was down in Stuttgart. I think somewhere down there.
Okay.
What was the old dude from? He used to play at Swarco for a long time. Defensive end.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Wait, I'm not sure.
Dang.
I
But
know
anyway,
what you're talking about, yeah.
I think him and Corey put that on. But
Okay.
it's really cool to see these players. Like the fact that he was like, I was 14 years old. I went to this elite sports camp. Back then, like if you would have asked me, how good are these players at this camp? I probably would have been like, they're trash. I mean, their routes are terrible. Like these guys like never seen football before. And now I'm over here having a conversation with one of those guys who, when I saw him play this year at Stuttgart, I was like, man, like this is a big-bodied, strong but young kid who's running routes and catching balls like he grew up in the States.
Absolutely, man. And that's one of the things that, I mean, I know I told it to him, but I really can't emphasize enough how natural the receiver position is for him, which is a thing that what you said, it's pretty rare here in Europe. Like if a receiver is good here, it still doesn't look the same way it looks when a guy grew up in the States and was playing from age 5. There's something a little bit different about it, the movements, the flow, kind of the style. And I think Louis has that, so it's pretty cool to see. Well, someone in here said Prague Black Panthers could beat half the ELF. Broken Spine says Prague Black Panthers could beat half the ELF. Wait, whoa.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I mean, I think we should just end the show.
That's like Broken Spine. What are you on over there? What are you
broken brain, more like it? Am I right? I'm sorry. I'm sure.
That sounds like something I would say.
I know. You rubbed off on me, bro. Now I'm taking shots at the chat. That's supposed to be you.
Yeah, that's my role, man. That's my role. But
there we go.
Yeah, I like that someone said Silas is the reason for Louis Geyer's success, bro. I take that 100%.
Put that on your resume.
I received that. I'm pretty sure I was running back that day though, so I can't really.
I don't remember that. You were there, and now he's good. So that's how it goes. That's how coaching goes. All right. Well, chat. That's going to be it for us for this week of ELF Live. Appreciate you guys riding with us and chatting and joining us on all this stuff. Silas, it's always a pleasure, man. I have a lot of fun doing the shows.
Yeah, I do too. I'm excited to do this actually in person at a game this season. I'd like to see everyone in this chat at the championship game. Nick and I will personally be at the championship game. We'd like to meet everybody that we're interacting with through the rest of the year. All the Prague fans, you guys can come hang out with us. The Prague players could probably hang out with us because you're sure as heck not going to be in the championship game.
Because you're going to be free.
So I'm going to invite the Prague team. I'm going to invite the Throners. Roby, you can come hang out with. I'm just going to list all the names of the teams and players that are not going to be in the championship game. Come hang out with us.
Hell yeah. There we go. And guys, if you have anything that you'd like to see in future episodes, feel free to let us know. You can put it in the chat there. You can write it to the ELF on Instagram or put it here in the chat. Let us know anything you'd like to see, any players you'd like to see, or anything you'd like to see us cover. And also, thank you for joining us today on a Wednesday. I know we threw you off this week. Silas has to go on a boat tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going on a cruise.
He's going on a cruise. Michael Scott Caribbean Cruise. Oh, and a shout out to Euronics, our sponsor, our partner. Sorry. partner Euronics putting on the show. Appreciate them. Appreciate y'all. Have fun on vacation, man. And I'll see you on Quiver. Don't forget, don't lose your badge. You have a silver badge now. I'm proud of you.
Oh, I do need to do my Quiver.
Do your Quiver. Okay. Don't lose that badge. All right. Thanks, everybody.
See you next week.